de Havilland Mosquito, a remarkable aircraft that defied expectations and changed the course of history during World War II. Often called the Wooden Wonder for its unconventional construction, the Mosquito became one of the most versatile, effective and beloved planes of the war, but its creation was far from easy, facing challenges in design, production and skepticism from military leaders, from its innovative concept to its wartime legacy. In the early years of World War II, the Allies were facing a serious disadvantage in terms of fast, versatile aircraft that could carry out a variety of missions. The need for a fast bomber was pressing, but the traditional designs of the time, heavy metal structures, were proving too slow and cumbersome to evade enemy radar and fighters. But a visionary designer, Sir Geoffrey de Havilland, would soon change the landscape of aviation forever. Geoffrey de Havilland was a man of vision, with a rich history in aviation. As the founder of the de Havilland Aircraft Company, he had already made a name for himself with the development of pioneering aircraft like the DH-88 Comet. It was the DH-88's success that led to de Havilland being able to think about an entirely new type of aircraft, a multi-role fast light bomber. In 1938 the idea took shape. His concept? A twin-engined aircraft that would be both a fast bomber and a fighter, using lightweight materials and innovative designs. The key innovation? A wooden airframe. The decision to be able to build the Mosquito from wood, specifically a laminated plywood, was revolutionary. With the demands of wartime production, the British aircraft industry was facing a shortage of metals. De Havilland's wooden design could be built with less reliance on scarce materials. It was lightweight, making it fast and agile. But the road to success was far from smooth. When the design for the Mosquito was first pitched to the British Air Ministry, it was met with scepticism. In fact, many military leaders at the time doubted the feasibility of a wooden bomber. They thought it would be too fragile and too unconventional. Yet, de Havilland and his team persisted. They knew the aircraft would have an edge in speed, agility and versatility, making it an invaluable asset in multiple roles, as a bomber, reconnaissance plane, night fighter and even a fighter bomber. The first prototype of the de Havilland Mosquito, designated DH-98, took to the skies for its maiden flight on November 25, 1940, piloted by Geoffrey de Havilland himself. The plane showed promise, achieving speeds of over 400 miles an hour, faster than many of the fighters of the time. However, challenges remained. The Mosquito was an ambitious project, and its production was still uncertain. In the early days, the British government was hesitant to commit to resources. The project faced financial struggles, and at the time it seemed as though the Mosquito might never enter full production. In the midst of these difficulties, another key figure nearly ended the Mosquito's development entirely: Sir Wilfrid Freeman, the British Air Ministry's Director of Staff. Freeman was highly sceptical of the Mosquito project. He doubted the effectiveness of a wooden aircraft, especially one so unconventional in design. At one point he even ordered the project to be halted, but de Havilland refused to give up. His persistence, combined with the growing realisation that the Mosquito had sufficient potential, led to a turning point. By 1941, after successful tests and demonstrations, Freeman was convinced, and the Mosquito was allowed to continue its development. Had it not been for this reversal, the aircraft may never have reached the production scale it eventually did. The de Havilland Mosquito was not just a technical marvel, it was an operational one. After overcoming numerous challenges in its development, the Mosquito officially entered service with the Royal Air Force in late 1941. The first operational squadron to receive the Mosquitoes was 105 Squadron, based in Swannington, Norfolk, which began to use the aircraft in December 1941. This marked the beginning of its combat career, though initially it was used in limited capacity due to the further need of modification and crew training. By 1942, the Mosquito had proven itself in its early missions, and it began to make an impact in several key areas. Its first major operational success came when the Mosquito bombers were used to attack German targets. In February 1942, Mosquitoes from 105 Squadron took part in one of their first bombing missions, hitting German-occupied France. The mission demonstrated the aircraft's exceptional speed and precision, which would define its later success in daylight raids. As more Mosquito squadrons were formed, the aircraft quickly proved itself in a wide range of roles. As a heavy bomber, fighter bomber, night fighter and reconnaissance plane, it became clear that the Mosquito's ability to adapt to so many different roles was a key reason for its success. Meanwhile, the Germans, realising the threat posed by the Mosquito, began developing their own version of a fast light bomber. By 1942 they had created the Focke-Wulf FW-191, a twin-engine bomber that took inspiration from the Mosquito's speed and versatility. However, the FW-191 never reached full production, as it suffered from many design flaws and never was able to replicate the Mosquito's success. On the other hand, the Mosquito's performance in combat was so effective that it led to an expansion in its role and production. The aircraft proved itself to be invaluable in numerous missions, from daylight precision bombing to night raids. In fact, the success of the Mosquito only made British more determined to ramp up its production. By 1943, the Mosquito had become an essential part of Allied operations. It was involved in high-profile missions such as the precision bombing of German industrial sites, transportation networks and military installations. The aircraft's ability to outrun enemy interceptors made it the perfect candidate for daylight raids, which were critical to disrupting the enemy's war machine. They were also a massive demoraliser. The Mosquito's role continued to evolve throughout the war, with over 7,700 units produced by the end of the conflict. Its versatility and effectiveness on a wide range of missions solidified its place as one of the most important aircraft of World War II. The Mosquito's ability to outrun German fighters and strike with pinpoint accuracy made it the perfect tool for these high-risk reward daylight missions. Perhaps one of the most famous operations was the Bushehr raid in 1943, when Mosquito's bombers took out key industrial targets deep in Nazi-occupied France, leaving minimal collateral damage. These daylight raids would eventually help to cripple the German industry and infrastructure, turning the tide in the favour of Allies. The Mosquito became a symbol of how precision, speed and agility could alter the course of a war. Though the Mosquito was eventually retired from military service in the 50s, its legacy lives on. The aircraft is remembered not only for its innovative design, but also for the bravery of the men who flew it. The Mosquito was a true icon of World War II, proving that sometimes the most effective weapon is not one that follows the conventional designs. The de Havilland Mosquito, an aircraft that combined innovation, speed and versatility, truly earning its place in the history of aviation as the Wooden Wonder.